Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode
182.
182. So, we are so excited to come to you live. We thought we would change it up a little bit. The next Facebook, last three episodes will be live over Facebook. So, if you can see us on here and hear us okay, share in the comments. I'm going to make sure everything's active. Okay, good. It
You gotta
is.
tag me in there too.
Yeah. We have a little guest with us today.
Comment Romeo if you see him.
So he was probably not the happiest to be woken up by his nap, but we took him anyways.
Yeah, it's time to work.
So we're excited about today. We are talking about a topic that's so needed, all about the highs and the lows of spiritual entrepreneurship, really.
Yeah, exactly. And what that means to us is anybody who if you listen to our podcast episodes before, you've been following us, you understand how we see the world and what we believe. Anybody who sees the world in that way or believes in that way, who's spiritual in any way, who's an empath, who's a healer, a psychic medium, and you're doing entrepreneurship, this is for you because we're just like you. You know, we're entrepreneurs and we're all of everything I just said. So, and that's who we work with too. So we have all of these insights over me specifically the last 5 years. You've been in your business for the last 8 or 9 years. We work with a lot of people one-on-one on a deep level, and you start to notice patterns over and over and over within yourselves and then also from clients.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because you sit and listen and you start to realize they think that they're alone in the process, but really they're not. And I remember going through it, and I always say he's like my secret weapon in the business because from the beginning, when he was actually in college, that's when I was doing my business. And even though he was studying and focusing in on, going to school as a teacher, he was my coach. And a lot of people don't know that. And I feel like even now with the business, they think back to the time where he was in college. They didn't even know what he was doing behind the scenes. You need someone to be your support system. Luckily, we have each other. So when it comes to both of our businesses, it's considered one for us because we're both helping each other in the different aspects. People that aren't business owners would never get that. Like, they don't get it. You know the power behind working with mentors, coaches, in masterminds, what can happen. And they always say, if you've ever read the book Think and Grow Rich, remember they say this about your spouse, that, and I'm going to butcher what the quote is, but if you don't have that supportive spouse, it can literally make or break millionaires and billionaires. And
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm ruining the actual
No, that's
phrase.
what it is. He noticed a pattern. Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book, he noticed a pattern that all of the millionaires he was studying at the time, which are some of the top people, if you know about the book Think and Grow Rich, like Henry Ford, King Gillette, all these people that were, they were transforming the world back then. So he was interviewing them, and he realized one of the common denominators was they all had a powerful woman or a husband on their side that was their support system, that was their coach, that was their energy giver, that was their grounding mechanism. Because when you're an entrepreneur alone, there's a lot of ups and downs. So we say the highs and lows of being a spiritual entrepreneur. We understand that no matter what you do, you're going to experience those highs and those lows because it means that you're alive. If you're experiencing highs and lows, it means that you're alive. So that's a powerful thing. But what we all also notice too, after working with, I don't even know at this time, hundreds of people, thousands on a deep level, we realize different patterns of people who stay recharged most of the time and continue to level up, not only in their business, but in their relationships, in their lifestyle, in their emotional health. Because look, anybody could go and work all day long and create $1 million business or create a 6-figure business. If you work all day long, or if that's your one focus, and then you're gonna neglect your health, you're gonna neglect your relationships, that's easy. That's easy to do, right? It's easy to do. It takes work, but it's easy to do.
Yeah.
What is harder and more challenging, I feel like, is having that overall balanced lifestyle. Because when you are a spiritual entrepreneur, when you are a psychic medium, a healer, a coach, you're working with your mind.
Oh yeah.
you have to have a clear mind. You're not going to a factory and moving boxes. You're not doing physical work. You have to have a clear mind. And to have a clear mind, you have to think like an athlete. Like you literally have to take care of, you have to watch what you're eating. You have to figure out like your exercising, all of that. So it all matters. It's not just your business.
Exactly. And it's funny because one of the things that comes up with entrepreneurs is it's easy to get excited at the beginning. You're passionate about what you're working on. You get excited to work with the people that you're working on. But what ends up happening is you burn out. You can literally burn out if you don't have that support system. Whether it is a spouse, you might not have a spouse or a partner that's supportive. We've worked with people that don't have supportive spouses. We also work with people that have them, and you can tell the difference between the two. It's a lot more work to have to convince your partner of what you're doing rather than them believing in you as a person. But one thing that I would say is if you don't have a supportive family or partner, be aware that's where the masterminds come in. That's where the workshops and the mentorships come in, and that's where magical things take place. But you have to be in an environment where you can actually grow, or else you're going to feel like you're depleted really quick. And a lot of the times you forget about your reason why. We've had people come to us. I remember some mediums coming to me like, I don't know if this is for me. I'm not doing well in my business. I feel energetically like I'm not getting supported. I don't even know if I'm meant to do this anymore. And we always ask the question, like, what are you doing? What action steps are you taking to have the balance? Because automatically, if you're out of balance, which happens to us all, and you're not aware of it, though, that's when things start to go downhill. And when you don't have the support, you think that, well, I'm doing something wrong or it's not meant to be.
Yeah, just let's debunk a myth real quick. Like, of
Mm-hmm.
course, we know that the perfect balance does not exist, right? Especially if you're an entrepreneur. There's going to be times to where you're working a whole lot because you have a project that needs to get done. And throughout those 7 days or 30 days, you're working a lot more than you normally would. And there's going to be other times to where, like, what we do is we'll travel a lot in the summer. We'll go see family. So we're still working, but we're exploring and seeing family more. So, like, everybody's life is going to look different. And we're not doing this episode to say, hey, you have to have a perfect balance when it comes to being an entrepreneur and being a spiritual entrepreneur. I understand that that really doesn't exist because, in my opinion, it's because we're always changing.
Yeah.
So what worked for you last week or a year ago and balanced out everything for a moment, that probably won't work again right now, because if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching it on Facebook Live, you're somebody who's continuously growing. So, like, in my own business and my own lifestyle and yours, we realize that you have to keep on pivoting. You have to keep on reflecting and figuring out, like what you were saying just earlier, is like, what is working, what is not. If I am drained right now, well, let's think about the last month. Let's think about the last 6 months, the last 12 months. What have you been doing, not only in your business, but in your overall lifestyle, your relationships, everything that you're doing? What have you been doing, and what is working and what is not? What is energizing you and what is draining you?
Yeah.
Think about the people, places, habits. What's energizing you, what's draining you. As soon as you start to eliminate the drainers, the people that are draining you, you start to eliminate the habits that are draining you and the environments that are draining you, you'll start to realize you have all this extra energy to do what you need to do in your business, because being an entrepreneur takes a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah. It takes tons of energy. And if you align it right, the big thing that I did at the beginning was I wasn't scheduling things. I was not scheduling things at all. So I was kind of doing things spur of the moment. I was going with the flow, which I still do things go with the flow, but I'm more organized when it comes to scheduling. And I noticed that makes a huge difference. And sometimes what we found is the people that we've worked with is they're not scheduling time for themselves. They're scheduling in time with their clients. That's fine, but they're not actually scheduling time in for their clients. And this is a problem for themselves. And this is a problem because when you're not setting aside time for yourself, there's absolutely no way that you can show up for your clients in the best energy possible. I remember I was asked to do some readings at a shop, and they wanted me to do back-to-back readings. Normally, it was probably about 12 readings that people would do throughout the day. And I, at one point, did that. Like, I did parties where it'd be back to back 10 readings. They'd sit down, I'd give them a 15-minute reading, and then it went back to back. I was drained from it. I started to realize that doesn't work for me anymore. So you have to use your voice and speak up and say, you know what? This isn't working for me. And you have to know that something feels off balance in that time frame. And sometimes, like even when we're traveling at the end of our trip, I could feel like, okay, this is the end. Like this is the end
Mm-hmm.
of the trip. It's time to go back home. And so it's not like you're not going to feel out of balance some of the times. It's the awareness to know that you do feel out of balance, so that you know that, wait, this is why this is coming up. This is why I feel tired, because I've been interacting with like millions of people, not just clients, but family and friends. So you have to think, what works for me. And I think that's a big thing.
It's huge. What works for me, right? There's not 7 steps to have a successful spiritual business,
Yeah.
right? Our 7 steps would not, some of them might work with people, but others won't. And that's the thing with being an entrepreneur, not only in your business, but in your lifestyle and everything you're doing, trying out a lot of different
Yeah.
things, right? Not being stuck in a box where you think, oh, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. No, maybe who you are is something outside of that box. So where whenever you do try it, you're like, whoa, where was that? I found that with services. I never thought that I would do a retreat, right? That
Yeah.
was never in my mind. I was always thinking I'm going to help people. But whenever that opportunity came up, we're like, we're going to do this retreat. I never thought that. I was like, I had to get outside of my mind. I had to get outside of my fears. And then when I did it, and then when I did the masterminds, and then when I started to do all these things that now I love and I could do all
Yeah.
day long, I never would have knew that if I wasn't open. And the same thing goes with your lifestyle, with your relationships. Just stay open to it. Being an entrepreneur, trying out a lot of things over and over, experimenting over time, and then seeing what's working and then what's not working.
Exactly. And I want to go to that point where
Yes.
you talk about that some things are going to work for some people and some things aren't going to work for you. The one thing that's been coming up a lot over the years that I found with talking with our masterminders is the frustration on their faces when they think of having to show up a certain way because they're seeing other people do it and they make it look easy. And they're like, well, I can't do it like that. It's not easy for me. Like, what am I doing wrong? Well, you can't go off of what other people look like, because sometimes they're posting and they don't feel good when they're posting. Sometimes they're working themselves into the ground and they don't feel fulfilled and peaceful. Sometimes, on the other hand, they are completely happy. This has come up a lot, so I want to bring it up. I've had conversations with a lot of people around Facebook and Instagram and social media, and they say, like, how do you do it? And I'm like, what do you mean, how do I do it? Well, I've gotten into I think I was in the generation of Facebook starting up, so it's been more natural for me, but not at the beginning. And one of the things that I've heard people say is, it feels fake to me, or it doesn't feel authentic, or it doesn't feel right to post. And I ask the question, well, what is your intention that you want to do for your business? What is the reason why you want to do your business? Think about how you can educate people in your social media posts. There's education in it. Now there's other ways that you can start seeing people look around. You could look at a post that I share, picture of myself. I know people have said, oh, look at her, she's posting another picture of herself. And Tony on the trip, they're just bragging about where they are. No, I'm actually celebrating this moment because I know how fast memories go. And I know the power of other people when they post and they share, and I see a place that they're going to. I'm like, that inspires me to know that I can go there, and it gets me excited. I know what it feels like not to take enough pictures. When Nick passed away, I wish I got more pictures. I didn't take enough then. When I had other people in the family that passed away, and I start to think, oh, I wish I took more pictures. But someone else that sees me post could take that in a whole different way. So I want you to think about that as a business owner. What you share online, what you post up, is your intention and your intention alone. People are going to see it in different ways, but the right people will know where you're coming from and they'll feel that energy.
Yes. Are you willing to post something and have somebody say, "Oh, they're just bragging. They're well, whatever negative thing that comes up, right?" Are you willing to accept that? Because it will happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Go post something today, and you're going to have 50% of the people that love it, 50% of the people that are like, who the hell do they think they are? Some people are thinking that on this live right now. They probably scrolled through and they're like, oh, there they are again, putting their faces out there, yeah, we're speaking our message to the world. We have something that's burning deep down inside of us that if we don't share it, we would end up going crazy probably. And the thing is, going back to your Facebook and social media, people saying, I don't get it. It's all so fake to me. It's all, well, in the context of these are people that we're talking to that really have a message like we do. And they want
Yeah.
to put it out to the world. But yet they're getting stuck in their own damn head because they saw a food photo 3 days ago on Instagram and they're pissed at that person for posting about their food. It's like, get out of your head, get into your soul. Social media, all this is just a vehicle. Right now, you all are able to watch and listen and hear our message because of this vehicle. Forget the name, forget all of your judgments around it. Remember why you're even doing your business in the first place. Think about that right now and act from that space. And we're not saying that we don't get in our heads. Trust me, I get in my head every day and then I go for a walk and I get out of it. Right?
But this is the thing. The reason that I brought that conversation up is because I've had endless people, not just one person, like over and over again. And they're trying to figure out, like, help me see the other side of this. How can I see differently around social media? So that's why I'm really passionate, just like you, Tony, about like, because I struggled. I hid behind the yellow
Yeah.
flower for years.
Yeah, your
So-
gratitude equals magnitude. Man.
Exactly.
People are like, who's that?
Love, energy, gratitude equals magnitude.
yeah, all
that was my name. So I struggled with it. But the reason that I need to bring this up is there's so many entrepreneurs right now that are completely depleted. They're at a low point in their business, or they're afraid to start it because they think that what they offer might not be different than what other people are offering around them. Or they think, who am I to put myself out there? Or do I even have anything to share? Or nobody's commenting on my stuff, so I feel like they're not listening to me. In actuality, there's probably much more people than you can even imagine that's watching your stuff as you're posting. So just know that there was people at the very beginning for me, like I was posting my heart out because I felt like I had that burning desire that you were saying. And there were moments I remember when I first started my radio show, Intuitive Guidance, and I was like, oh my God, I was looking at the charts at the very beginning. There's only, I don't know. I don't even know what the number was. It could have been 50 people listening to the show on Monday nights. And there was at the beginning stages. And I remember talking to one of the girls at Sedona Talk Radio, and she's like, stop looking at the numbers. She's like, don't pay attention to the numbers. If you speak to one person that hears you and you're touching them, pay attention to the impact that you have with them. And it really changed my way of thinking. And I think about even in the classroom, like you think about when I was teaching third graders, if there were 20 kids in the classroom and there's 20 viewers on your Facebook page, or 20 ears that are, double the 20 years, 20 times 2, listening to your message and they get impacted, then that's powerful for them. It's important to put yourself out there if you want to do it so that you don't build up resentment for the people that are actually showing up. We have a lot of people on the sidelines saying, well, you should do it this way, or why do they do it that way?
We're like, yeah, we'll listen to you who's just sitting there eating popcorn on the sidelines watching us. No way.
So there's
we don't pay thousands of dollars to join other people's masterminds to listen to people that aren't doing shit with anything that has to do with what we're doing.
Right. So there's two sides to it. And, there's a part of me that wants to be the sweet side and the part of me that wants to be the sour side. And that's where
I'll be the sour side.
Tony can come into play there. But I feel like this is the actuality of what's happening to entrepreneurs where they're struggling. They don't have the support. And sometimes people won't even show you support, even if they do believe in what you do.
Oh, no, they won't. So especially if they're your friends and family at the beginning. You're shocking the hell out of their belief systems when you're putting yourself out there. Allow them to process that for a couple of years.
Well, and then it kind of forces, when you're showing up like this in front of people that you know, that means that they need to change. They see you change, like, wait, I need to do something to change. This is making me feel insecure, because they're watching you morph into a different person. And a lot of the times they resist against it. And that's just naturally what happens. It's not anything against you personally, even though it feels like a shot to the heart. Because that's one thing that I struggled with at the very beginning, where I felt like I wasn't being seen in the light of my passion and my hurt.
That hurts.
It hurts so bad. And if I didn't have Tony in my ear saying, no, they love you, just keep on going, I probably would never have followed through with my business. If I did, it would have been very slow moving. But this is the reason why you have to have people around you that either believe in you or support you or are doing the same thing, or else you're going to feel like you're in a lonely, dark place when it comes to your entrepreneurship journey. And there's only the only way that you can go from the plateau of your business up is going to be to put yourself in new situations and new environments to learn more.
So think about this. Think about this. If any of these resonate with you, these are some of the things that we've noticed over the years within ourselves and our clients over and over and over again. And there's some negative things. Some of these things they cause a lot of pain. Comparisonitis. Lindsay talked about that. Comparing yourself to other people, other mediums. All of a sudden, you're a medium or you're a healer and you're a coach, and it seems like everybody and their mom is. Well, that's because that's the way the brain works. Anything that you're focusing on, your brain will spot it out and see it everywhere. It's not as many people as you think are being mediums and healers. You're just in that world now, okay? So one, quit comparing yourself. There's not enough healers. There's not enough mediums. We need more and more and more that are genuine and authentic because the world needs a lot of healing, obviously, right? To balance out. So just remember that. Here's another one. Working too much and not shutting down. Stuck in their heads. Caring what friends, family, and coworkers will think. Numbing themselves so they don't feel their own emotions, blocking out all the pain and tension in their bodies, talking too much, not talking enough, trying to find that balance, right, as an empath, not believing they are worthy of being healers, right? I could raise my hand on all of these. Addicted to saving everyone who is in pain because you could feel it, right? You're a healer. You could sense my neighbor's in pain. This person's in pain. This person's in pain. I feel obligated since I sense it. I feel it. I know it. And I realize a lot of people don't see it. I have to go save them, right? Some people, yeah, that's good to do, right? You feel pulled to who you're saved. But as you all realize, and as I realize in my life, as I tried to save people that weren't willing to be saved, I started to go down into a hole myself. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's some more. Focused on awards and being seen more than they are remembering the why of why they even got into their business in the first place. So these are just a couple of things that we notice. Avoiding their traumas that are, being held back by a significant other. That's another one. Being held back by a significant other. So that's part of the mastermind. So if you resonate with any of these, share in the comments or just raise your hand or love this video or like it, because it shows that we're not alone. Right? Yeah. All these things I read, I didn't just think about one person. These are hundreds of people, including myself. And you could go read articles about other people that are doing this. I like to share from my own experience, right? I've seen this personally. I've witnessed it. And this is what keeps happening over and over and over again. So we're all a lot more similar than we realize.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And just having that support and just to feel seen, knowing that, wait, that sounds like me. That's something that I experienced at one point. And we have so many things coming up. I think right now, let's kind of end this part of the episode. I feel like because we have more stuff to go into on our next episode. So we're going to go live next Wednesday. And then the Wednesday after that.
The next 3 Wednesdays at 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Eastern time.
So make sure you're there with us and share this. What you guys are doing when you're sharing with your friends, like whenever we go and we work with people, they're like, I loved that episode that you talked about this. Share it in the comments. Get the ball rolling. Get the algorithm going for us with YouTube too.
Right. If this message helps heal you, do that so other people can see it too. Right? We're sharing this not to hear ourselves talk. We're sharing it because we felt a lot of pain over the years ourselves.
And it could be lonely.
And it could be very lonely. And we want to share our energy and our stories and our insights just to help other people realize just how we realize over time that everything you're experiencing, you're not the only one experiencing it, right? And that's the price you have to pay. If you want to be a powerful leader, you want to be a powerful entrepreneur, and you want to have a successful business, you want to heal a lot of people, it's the price you have to pay. Are you willing to pay that price?
That's the question to ask yourself.
So we do have a mastermind coming up, a one-day mastermind on November 10th.
Yes.
At 4 p.m. Eastern time, right? 4 p.m. Eastern time. And we're creating this because we've been running masterminds for several years now. We have a 90-day, that's coming up in 2023, January. the 90-day mastermind. But all of our options are thousands of dollars to work with us in our mastermind business. We're offering this one day because we want to offer a cheaper price to impact more people, right? We were pulled, Spirit spoke to us, offer this, here's what we do. That's how we run our business. We tune into our intuition and we figure out what is that telling us to do. So November 10th, that's what it's telling us to do.
Yeah, November 10th. What else is coming up? Massachusetts, we already set up a date to do our business mastermind. This is for entrepreneurs that if you're a coach, psychic medium, healers, you're someone that believes in the spiritual aspects bringing into the business, you are welcome to sign up. We're only accepting 8 people
In person.
in person in Massachusetts.
In the Boston area.
So there's a few things going on. When you work with us, it's not going to be just business tips. That's not what it's going to be about. It's going to be a business transformation. What will happen is business breakthroughs will take place. But it's not like you sit there and you listen to all these business tips.
No.
There's going to be a lot of shifts that take place. Do not sign up for any of these if you feel like you're not ready for change or you're not ready to go deep. Because the stuff that we have connected to workshops and masterminds are more for people that are ready to go deep and really go underneath the layers. So if you're not ready, you're not like available in that way, it's definitely not for you. But we welcome people that are open for that shift.
Right, because we believe that a business problem is a personal problem.
Yes.
Any business problem you have, it's not like, here you go, solve this like that. Well, if you don't help the person, it's kind of like when you see Cesar Millan on TV helping the dogs. He's really helping the humans, right? So it's like, if you have a business problem, you have a personal problem. We understood that over the years. That's why we run these deep transformational experiences that are not for everybody. It's only for people willing to be vulnerable, willing to go underneath those layers like Lindsay was saying.
Yes. So we hope to see you there and come join us next Wednesday here on Facebook. Talk with you guys soon. Bye.